Alrighty, welcome. Right off the bat, teeny tiny, maybe not so enormous disclaimer. I sort of already made this video and I was about to upload it. However, I kind of realized that an hour long talking kind of lot to take in. So yeah, I'm doing this again. This time I'm focusing only on the important parts. At least I try to cut the yapping a bit. Even though I love yapping, I really do. Also, we are going full old school. It's not like I'm gonna do any editing or any cuts or anything. It's just me looking at some what I uploaded some hours ago about me randomly playing a game of League, streaming after I didn't stream for years. But yeah, I finally found an adapter for my Apple EarPods, which allows me to talk into a microphone without using an annoying headsets, because I don't like headsets. And I also don't like these microphones where nobody can talk when you're too far away. So this is really comfortable for me. You can hear me talk, even though you're kind of suffering on the audio quality, I believe. But it's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm very happy. Yeah, that is that. Anyway, yeah, right. Matchmaking. First of all, I did not talk to any former Riot employee, nor did I hack the Riot game servers and have insights on the coding or anything. No. I just played the game a lot. And the way I approached the game allowed me to use my very enhanced pattern recognition skills, which also made me a huge racist, by the way. What? To notice certain things. And I actually wanted to share this years ago, but I never really felt inspired to do so up until now, I believe. So we're doing this, and this is my last take. I see, even if I speak gibberish, if I talk 10 minutes about some random ass topic, you're gonna endure it. I'm gonna not start this over again. So let's just get into it. Yeah. Second of all, since I don't know the actual coding of this, it's all kind of based on assumptions which are backed by data, which I'm not gonna show you because it would make this video go way too long, and we're gonna just be on a trust me bro basis, and it's gonna be fine, okay? But I haven't seen the code, so I don't know what is actually about League and what is actually about life. The way I mean this is there's obviously a mechanism around this about this matchmaking, right? How it's supposed to go. But also, whatever you approach in life, whatever you do, whatever your goal is, if you walk towards it, if you take action on it, it kind of is always some sinus curve going slightly upwards, right? So in whatever direction you go, as long as you keep going into that direction, you will face lows, you will face highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, but eventually you will always go up, so your highs will always go higher and your lows will always be less low. And League is kind of the same, which would introduce me to winner queue and loser queue. This has been a... Riot never said there is a winner queue or loser queue, I believe. I don't know if they changed their standpoint on that throughout the years, but I believe I heard them saying that there is no winner queue or loser queue. A lot of people say this doesn't exist. I do know why, but I also know why some people, like myself, for example, obviously notice when I'm in loser or winner queue. I just call it like that. It's a bit toxic to call it like that, but essentially it is actually that. And the reason for that is that... maybe I introduce myself first. Hello, I am Roman, I am from Germany, and I am 30 years old. And I've been playing League ever since Renekton came out. Long time ago. I remember we are on a LAN party, gathering with lots of friends and all our PCs, and someone said, have you seen LOL? And we were like, who calls the game LOL? What? Yeah, we started playing the game. I was Fiddlesticks in my first game on a 3 vs 3 map. I remember that's very fun times. But yeah, ever since season 3 or 4, I've constantly hit the diamond on multiple accounts, which is a problem, by the way. I'm gonna go into that later, but... not a problem, but an obstacle to play on multiple accounts, which obviously made me and I believe a lot of people very angry in certain scenarios. Because there's a lot of League that is, let's say, tilting or has the option to frustrate people, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because this is how you Well, if you're talking psychology, this is how you market things, because if you're talking people, someone who always agrees on whatever you say, you will bond less with them as with the person who constantly tries to engage, challenge, and argue with you. Like, maybe not constantly, but you can't have only positive interactions with a person. This won't create any bonding or anything. This is not challenging for you. It's like you play League and you win every game. If you win every game in League only, you wouldn't play this game as much, right? So losing is part of the game, and is what keeps you engaged, let's say. Now, losing a League, I'm not trying to put this into a negative perspective or anything ever since I mentioned the loser queue, because essentially, and this is what the core mechanic is also, everybody is meant to be around 50% win ratio. So even if you face loser queue or winner queue, it's not to ruin your mood, ruin your day or anything, because at the end you're around 50% win ratio. So is it fair, is it unfair? I think it's pretty neutral. If it is anything, then it's probably more fair than unfair. Would the game be better if it would have not any MMR system, and if you are Platinum 3 and I'm Platinum 3 and we play together? Should it just be like that, right? Would that be a better game if there was no MMRs? Everyone would just be playing together because they're the same rank. Maybe a different game would be cool like that. I believe League, the balancing of the game is made in a way that it ties together with the system we have right now, and I'm gonna be explaining the system. Now, did I mention everything that is important? I believe so. So let's get into it. First of all, I introduced myself, but I didn't show you my account. It's currently full low master. Nice. And don't ask how did I play this. We are not gonna touch or talk about this number, okay? However, if I'm gonna zoom out here, you can kind of easily detect a pattern. Especially, it's all red, it's all blue, somewhat both. It's mostly red, it's mostly blue, and if I would show more, it's this the entire time. It was worse. I have pictures where it was entirely worse. Why is this? Why is this? Is this about me? Is this about me being in a bad mood on some days or not? No, not at all. Maybe sometimes, but essentially it's not. It's because sometimes not, but I don't really pick into my comp or into the enemy comp. Sometimes I'm feeling like, I counter pick people or I pick something good for my team, but mostly I play Qiyana. And if I always play Qiyana, and there is a system in League, obviously, that also takes into account what you play, how strong you are with it, what is your laning like, how do you perform. If I play Qiyana only, and something like a loser queue occurs, which is the thing which I'm gonna explain later, or shortly, right after this. It's very easy if I only gonna pick Qiyana then to just either put me into a team where there are 2 other Qiyana players, or make me play against Rengar OTPs only, or let me play with people who only ban Qiyana, or let me play against people who only play Malphite mid because I don't ban him or anything like that, or who only play Dr. Mundu and nobody bans him, right? It's really easy to identify this stuff with the system, but I don't wanna even go this far, because this sounds more conspiracy than it needs to be. So now, the core mechanics of the League of Legends matchmaking system showed in a very weird, maybe good statistic in Photoshop. Now these aren't parallel because I see the... Okay, let's go. First of all, we ignore, this is rule number 1. If there were any rules, always ignore the first 10, 20, 30, 40 games in your account. Ignore them. Don't care about the first 20, 30, whatever accounts, games, I mean. Ignore them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. But let's say, those are only numbers, estimated numbers. It's nothing confirmed by Riot Games or anything. It's nothing, it's just estimate. So this is estimate, everything estimated. But let's say, for the sake of it, you have your accounts, let's say you are Diamond 3, okay? Diamond 3, 0 LP, and you are Diamond... Wow. And you played 100 games already. And you won 50 of them, and you lost 50 of them. So you are exactly at 50% win ratio after 100 games, and you are Diamond 3. Let's just say this is the case. Let's just say your MMR is also Diamond 3, so you win 20, you lose 20, okay? From this point onwards, since you're already at 50% win ratio, means that you are not giga smurfing. So let's say you just play a game and you happen to win the next 20 games in a row. What? And you get 20 LP each game, so you won 20 games in a row, 20 LP each, so that is 400 LP. 400 LP onto Diamond 3 is 100 to Diamond 2, 100 Diamond 1, 100 to Masters, and 100 in Masters. So you would be at Masters 100 LP, right? If you win 20 games in a row. Nice. Now the problem is, and this is what this graphic is for, the system always tries to get you, to move you towards 50% win ratio. Always. This is what the system is designed to do. So now that you won 20 more games, so you know at 70 wins and 50 loses, your win ratio is way above 50%. And always when it hits about this threshold, the games become way harder. You could call this loser queue. Obviously, you can be good enough to carry games in loser queue if you pick perfectly, if you play very good. Right? You can win those games. This is not what I'm saying. However, what I'm saying is you will continuously get games which are really, really hard to play. Because your entire team, maybe your entire team except one person somehow, I don't know. But most of the time, your entire team is weaker than the enemy team. And you are supposed to lose those games to go back to 50% win ratio. Yeah. However, there is a margin where you can move freely. The system will never put you into loser queue when you have like only 53 or 54 or 55% win ratio. The system will never put you in winner queue if you are at 48% win ratio. Never. Never. Nothing happens. If you're at 52% win ratio, good, system doesn't care. You just get to play normal games, win or lose scenario games where everything is possible and no side is like directed towards winning or losing the game. You just play normal games. Okay. Now, this means if you're now in your scenario on your Diamond 3 account that is now Masters 100 LP but has a huge, immense win ratio, this means that what do you do now? You're now Masters 100 LP. You'd like to be Challenger, let's say. What are your options here? If you continue to play on this account, you will 100% hit loser queue. This means that you will 100% play a lot of games that are completely doomed and made. You are basically playing to lose in this. No, you're not playing to lose. You're obviously, hopefully, playing to win. But you're playing games that are meant to be sided for the enemy. Over and over again. Surely you can be good and win those games. I'm not saying that. It's really, really hard and mostly impossible. But you will get those games until you are back at 50% win ratio. However, once you arrive at 50% win ratio, you will now be, let's say, back at Diamond 3 or maybe only Diamond 2, depending on how your MMR behaves, right? But let's say you are back at Diamond 3 after you lost so many games. You're at 50% win ratio again, back to Diamond 3. Now that might feel really disappointing, but it is actually really good because now you didn't play 100 games, but let's say you played 200 games. What does this mean? If you now play 200 games, this means that the next time you're gonna go on your win streak, you're allowed to, let's say, win 40 games instead of only 20. So you can get another 400 LP, so you can be Masters 500 LP, and only then the loser queue will start triggering, right? And next time you are there, you are at 300 games, 400, right? This is the one way how you can climb and get ELO on your one and only account. Play a lot of games. Obviously be good, because if you lose the loser queue, that is fine. That is nothing bad, right? The loser queue is only up until like around 50%. So if you lose your loser queue, nothing is not bad, right? If you know you're in loser queue, just accept it. Sure, you can try hard on your main. Sure, you can also just try out other champions. You don't even have to, right? Just accept it, play the game, try to enjoy the game, try have fun. It's not to screw you or anything, it's just to push every player back to like the 50% win ratio, right? Now, if you really want to reach Challenger on your one account, but you're not good enough to win every game, which certainly no one is, I believe, and your MMR is not already in Challenger, the only option you have is play a lot of games. Play so many games, let's say for example, play 1,000 games, so the margin of where the loser or winner queue does not trigger is hardly reached by only a few games. Let's say if you are 1,000 games, if you win 50 games more than you lose, loser queue won't trigger. You just won 50 games more than you lost, you have a percent win ratio above 50%, but only slightly above 50% is all fine. However, you won 50 more games than you lost, that is a lot of LP, right? 1,000 LP. But if you want 1,000 more without loser queue triggering and making your games harder, you have to win another 1,000 games, so 2,000 games, right? And this is how you this is how you get LP on one account, on one fresh new account. This is how back in the day when Tyler won, I didn't really never fanboy watched him or anything like that, but I just happened to know what happened. But he reached Challenger on every role, right? The way he did it, I believe, except for support, I'm pretty sure, but every other role he just played 20 games each day, if not more. And I believe his Kartus jungle, he played over 1,000 or 2,000 games, right, until he hit Challenger. It's just natural that you have to play that many games on a fresh account, because you have to get you have to, your MMR at some point, at the point after your starting games, because if your games just started, right, your MMR fluctuates harder than it's to the end, right? You get a lot more MMR for win, it behaves differently at the start, right? But at the end, or if you already played 100 games or something like that, you somehow have to win that more games than you lose without triggering the loser queue. And this is only possible if you play a lot of games. So if you want to hit Challenger, or any elo actually on your account, your only option is keep playing. And if you lose the loser queue, it's completely fine. It doesn't matter, really. But make sure you win the winner queue. Sure, sometimes stuff happens, sure, but do your best, win the winner queue, and you will always be fine. You'll always be fine. Then there will be some games that are kind of whatever, just play. You'll always be fine. Especially if your goal is below Masters. Why is that? Because there are also more rules to this. Certain rules to this. The rules are the following. I think this is just psychology at this point to make people play the game more. For example, if you're on an account that has never ever seen Emerald 2, let's say, and you already played 60 games or 80 or 100, right? The first time you hit Emerald 2, or you're about to, one of the both, either you're about to or you hit it for the first time, you're immediately into loser queue. If you win that game, I'm not sure if you get another loser queue or if it just goes on normal. I was never sure about if there's a rule set or anything like that, but if you get promoted to rank where you have never been before on your account, at least this season, and you already played a huge set of games, you 100% get a loser queue game. Sure, you might win it sometimes, but most of the time you lose it. Because you got demoted then again. Every time you get demoted, this is always like that. You get hard winner queue again. So you most likely win the game. Surely sometimes stuff happens, you lose it and then it's just terrible, but most of the time it's hard winner queue, you just win it and you're promoted again. But because you got promoted again, you get loser queue again. Slightly less worse loser queue, by the way. This continues indefinitely until you win this game. Or until you lose the winner queue game. So if you're just an average player, so if you're not making your team lose, but you also don't make your team win, you're just average, you will climb, because this winner-loser queue stuff is just normal, but eventually you will win the loser queue game, and then you have normal queue again. Then you just do whatever. And eventually you then will be able to promote to Emerald 1 suddenly, and then it's the same stuff over again. You get promoted, loser queue, you get demoted, winner queue, you get promoted, loser queue, you get demoted, winner queue. Then you have loser queue again, but you win that game, and then it's just normal queue again. You can play normally, and or even winner queue, and you just win and climb eventually, right? Now, when I said earlier, I believe I said it earlier in this video, about having multiple accounts, the problem here is that let's say you played last season, and last season you finished you stop playing when you hit Diamond 2, let's say, okay? You stop playing at Diamond 2, 0 LP. This means that if you play again next season, and you play, let's say, 100 games, and you win 50 and lose 50, so you're at 50% win ratio, you're back at Diamond 3. This is how MMR works, right? Just normal. However, the first games, if you then get promoted in the first games, will not trigger loser queue. This is just something else, right? However, maybe you just start off with loser queue. This happens a lot to a lot of people also. But however, you will with 50% win ratio. So if you're just average, you get your Diamond 3 back. Okay. However, if you play on another account because you, for example, you are finally masters and you think, wow, I'm such a good master player. And now I play with my friends in silver, I'm gonna carry them so hard, yeah. And then you play in silver and you lose and you be like, life, what the fuck, what's this? Why lose in silver, right? Might happen. And then you'll be upset and then you'll be, no, I'm gonna solo queue on my silver account, and then you solo queue on your silver accounts. And surely you're good enough, you win in your silvers, you win in your gold games, but then suddenly you get Emerald, and then you uprank to Emerald 3, and the game is, first time Emerald 3, have fun with this loser queue, and it's unwinnable, you can't win it. You'll be like, but I'm Masters, why can't I win an Emerald, what? It's just because the game is designed to give you this, to make you feel like every time you visit a rank for the first time, that you have to feel like, oh, the enemies are so good here, wow, I finally escaped the Emerald 4 hell. Now the players suddenly are really, really good. I have to become better, right? This is what the normal person thinks. It's not a bad way. This is like you're thinking about how to improve. You think there's more on the table. You think you have to concentrate better. It's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing, not at all. But this is kind of how it works. And if you're only playing on one account, it's just normal, right? You play on one account, you be Diamond 4 for years, and then you finally hit Diamond 3, and then it's like, oh, people are so good here, what's happening? Diamond 3 is just a different environment. No, it's the same environment in a different color, honestly. Maybe they are slightly better, of course. Slightly. But it's just this loser queue that makes you feel like that. The problem is just, if you play on another account, another account doesn't know you have a different account. Or maybe it does, I don't know. But if your accounts aren't linked or anything, the account only knows it's MMR. And if you have this account for years, and last season you finished in Emerald 4, then congrats, bro. It might be possible that you start playing on the account and you lose the five first games and start in Platinum for some reason, and you just lost the first 5 games and seriously question your existence. This is not your fault, it's just the system thinks you're an Emerald 4 player, so it treats you like an Emerald 4 player. And you get this loser queue after promoting again in Emeralds. Even though you're already Masters on your account, right? Surely the elo is a bit easier, surely you can carry that, surely... I'm not saying you should be able to carry that, but surely it is easier to carry that than to carry loser queue in Diamond. But it's just how the game works, right? So just know that after you get promoted, or if you're about to promote, you will hit loser queue. If you've been promoted for the first time. And the frustrating part is if you play on multiple accounts, because once you are done with this loser queue, once you beat the loser queue, once you finally get promoted and stage promoted and climbed even higher, you're done with it. Next season you play, you already are above this. So next season you don't have to repeat this, because you will start there anyway, after your placement games and the games after that, right? But if you play on a different account, the different account gives you the loser queue after a gold promotion. Through its gold, you can probably carry that and don't really notice that, but it's just what it is, right? And I think people should know that, because yeah, sure, if you're only playing on one account, it's fun for sure. If you're a new player, if you don't know the entire game, it's fun. But for people like me, for example, that only looks into the game every few months, and I play on a random account, I had times where I was super frustrated. I played Kiana I picked up Kiana when she was giga broken, years ago. I just played her. I started on a new account that I just hand leveled myself with Arams when I was working. I only played Arams, so my MMR was bronze. So I started in bronze actually. I lost my first game in bronze with Kiana because I couldn't play the champ at all. I only played Kiana. eventually I went Diamond 2 with 60% win ratio. I was really happy about it. But I reviewed my game and I was like, nah, man. I feel like I'm so bad at Kiana. I don't know. I won, yeah, but I don't feel like I'm really good because I see what other people do on her and I feel like bad. And then I started, every time after work, I started watching 3 games of Beifeng, played 3 games myself, reviewed those games, were in practice tool and played some, like we had those different game modes back then where you could, I don't know how it was called. There was some game mode back then where you Blitz, or I don't know what it's called, but you could play Kiana, and I used it to practice my combos. I wrote down on a piece of paper which combo I like to train with Serpent's Fang back in the day, and how many times I hit the combo right, and I trained all that, and then I went like, okay, now I'm gonna play on a new account again. I played on a new account. I hit Diamond 3 with like 70% win ratio again. I was like, I'm Giga. This time I'm gonna stomp them all. And then I logged onto my main account, and I lost, like I already mentioned, this is where the example came from. I lost the first games in a row. I remember that after I thought I'm gonna be the best Kiana in the world, I played against Set mid, Set. He picked Set mid, Set, not Z, but Set. The bruiser Set, S-E-T-T, right? He had Exhaust, he had Doran Shield first item, he had Bone Plating. And this was my mid laner, right? Suddenly, it's kind of like, okay, I realized that I'm confronted with something that I wasn't confronted before, so I had to, like, how do I lane with this stat, right? So, can I kill him? It was really hard because he had exhaust bone plating stuff. Do I just have to farm? Do I have to buy mana because I run out of mana before, and I can't hold the waves? How do I manage this, right? Surely this has got me a new way of thinking, but essentially, I started playing on my main account, which was back then, I believe, Plat or something, because I didn't play on it for so long, MMR wise, and I lost the first 5 games, and I was like, why do I sit here for years, train this champion, be Giga Goat, and why do I lose the first? I was super sad, right? But it's just a system. It's just a system because it doesn't make any sense. Like, realistically, I didn't play League for years again, or at least for 1.5 years, I believe. Then I started to play on my account here. I believe I started playing in off season, or end of last season, when before this season came out, I started playing. I finished this account in Diamond 4 and then stopped playing on it. Then the new season came out, and I, like, after 130 games or something, I was Masters 300 LP. Does this make any sense? This is not inflated or anything. The reason for that is just that the reason for that is just that the difference between how good players are is not as vast as you might believe. Sure, there are exceptions you have to learn. Sure, there are so many things, so many champions you can master, so many approaches to play the game you can learn and master, right? But the difference, the skill difference, and what is needed to win games in each brackets isn't as high as people think. I for sure I would say, Emerald players, you can match me with 10 Emerald players in Masters, and I wouldn't necessarily immediately notice that I'm playing with Emeralds, right? Not because Masters are bad or Emeralds are so good, just because that the difference between players comes after people play multiple hundreds of games and not 10, right? But the problem is that nobody talks about this matchmaking really. So first of all, nobody tells you this it's just normal that you are bound to lose some games. Secondly, ever since League became so big, everybody that does content on YouTube and stuff, it's just people playing 10, 20 games a day. Sure, they stream it, sure you can watch them on stream, but not everybody does that, right? They play 20 games a day. Then, obviously, in these 20 games, they have games like this, like you're watching right now, what I'm doing, right? You have games like this, and which are Giga Winner Queue, and they then show you this game, and the title is how I Giga Stomp Giga Mock Irelia Mid with my OP 1v9 Kiana. I'm so good, wow, best Kiana world. But the reality is just, no, it's not even a gamble, it's just normal queue, winner queue, or loser queue. And I'm just here, and my team is giga-gapping the enemies anyway. Sure, perhaps we would lose this game. If I would have lost the matchup versus Irelia mid, perhaps I would lose the game, okay? However, if I stay neutral and I don't hard win like I already did, I would probably win this game because my team is just better than the enemy team. And even if I'm just average and I'm doing as good as the Irelia, I would still probably win, right? But my team is gapping the enemy team so hard here because it's winner queue that I have so many opportunities where I can do int plays that are not int anymore because my team backs me so hard that we can do stuff like this and get rewarded, right? Why can I move up so far? This is in loser queue. This would be int. I would be dead, and we would lose some objective. 100%. Here it's fine, and I'd be like, oh, you got Smurf, Dab, Kiana, emote spam. I'm so good, right? No, it's just winner queue. But if you watch YouTube, there are just like people uploading, yeah, how to stomp your laner, and then you watch their real match history, and it's like, oh, you just lost 8 games in a row, which isn't bad, by the way. I'm not saying losing 8 games in a row is bad, but you just watch them and you don't see the side of they have also loser queues. They have also games where they're entirely useless and can't do much. They also get countered and get giga stomped sometimes, right? It's just the side of the coin that people don't showcase as much. Even if you're in league in the game, the people that are toxic don't seem to realize that win ratio doesn't mean anything because, it's not really the explanation of how loser queue and winner queue and matchmaking functions kind of done, so you can turn off here. There's not going to be any more giga useful information, just some things that might be interesting. So, yeah, what might be interesting? All right. Okay, how to reach Challenger? Option A. Play 2000 games. Option A is be giga based, be giga ultra mega good, and reach it in only 500 games. Might be an option. Be not as giga good, but still pretty good, reaches in 1000 games. Be kind of whatever good, average, kind of good, not giga base, but kind of good. Play 2000 games, you reach Challenger, okay? Option 2. Play on an account that was Challenger last season. You just have to play. You don't have to play good nor bad. You just play and you get Challenger back. Option 3. Have a Riot account. Because Riot accounts get start with a high MMR. I don't know where the MMR starts. I believe at some point it was Diamond 2 or anything like that. But if your MMR is already Diamond 2, sure, it looks like you're starting in gold or anything and you giga stomp your games because it's gold. But if you get a Riot account, even if you don't giga stomp up front, after 100 games, you are Diamond 2 by default, right? So if you then are also a good player, it's super easy to reach high rank, which is so stupid because some people are like, yeah, we go to Korea and play in Korea, right? And then they stream how they... This is such an in-play by me, by the way. Okay, look at this. My team was shadowing me. I only went so far to the turret because I knew my team was behind me, okay? However, my team is giga base and knows this and therefore is behind me and allows me to go out so far. If my team was slightly worse, they either would have gotten with me and nobody would have engaged from the enemy team and we wouldn't have gotten to those 2 kills, or my team would have just left me and I would just die there. But my team is giga goated, which allows me to play like this and we win because my team is giga goated. Period. So, but the play otherwise would have been int. My team just allows me to do this, and I get 2 kills for this, and now I look good. Cool. But I'm not trying to talk the game bad, by the way. It's just it's a gift in a way, because if you would always win, the game wouldn't be challenging to you, and you would play something else, right? So you wouldn't play the game as much. If you would only lose, you probably wouldn't play the game as well. So we have a nice mixture of you can play the game. Everybody has 50% win ratio, so it's not like cryptocurrency or casino or anything where in order for you to win, someone else has to lose. Obviously, in order for you to win, someone else has to lose, but it's not like there's one side of the community that wins most of the games and has giga fun, and the other rest of the community only exists so the other people can win, and the other ones are just punching bags so we have someone to win against, right? It's not like that. Everybody has around 50% win ratio, everybody's happy. Everybody gets their clutch games, everybody gets their loser queue games. It's just like this. It's a gift because we can indefinitely play this game and have fun with it. This is nice. It's really nice. My VOD is over. What do I do now? Wait. League of Legends? Different words. More words. Which game's cooler? Really cool. Yeah, I can show you a nice thing when we look at this game, by the way. This is gonna be nice. It's gonna be very... Edit. Anyway. Okay. How do you reach Challenger? Play a lot of games. Have an account that already started and played Challenger. Or have a Riot account. That starts with a higher MMR. This is stupid because sometimes people go to Korea and if they don't have a Riot account, they have to play like 700 games and eventually hit Challenger. And then they see those people who go to Korea and get a Riot account. They're like, yeah, look at me, I only played 100 games and I'm yeah, but you can't start it in Challenger, what the fuck? Right, this is like... Not everybody knows this is annoying, right? Because people think that Challenger players or Master or Grandmaster players are so much better than everybody else. Sure they are, but not in the way that people make it seem to be. It's like, if you're Bronze or Challenger, your character doesn't get stronger, right? Like, if you play versus... I know... this happened to me, I remember that. I never played versus bots. Then I played with some friend of mine who sometimes played versus bots, and I was like, wait a minute, who plays versus bots? Right? And I played with his bots with him one game, and I inted. I died to bots level 1 because I thought bots, I'm gonna clutch them easy, but no, bots are just as much champions as your champion is. So, they have the same... The difference between players comes with the accomplishments and mistakes throughout the game. But at some point, like Emerald, for example, it's not anymore the accomplishments throughout the game, it's more the accomplishments throughout many games, right? So not every Challenger player has to be super good, or it wouldn't make any sense that you see people in Challenger going 20-0, for example. This is, how is that gonna be possible? Well, obviously, because well, bad games happen, and not everybody in Challenger knows every champion, every ability and everything, and right, and mental states and stuff like that, but also because, for example, someone was Challenger last season, didn't play for a year, starts playing again, has his account with his Challenger MMR, starts playing, is completely washed, goes 0-17 the first 3 games with his stats, and then the system detects him, he's a loser queue candidate, and then somebody who is supposed to get into loser queue gets him in his team, and you then play versus this guy because you are sitting in winner queue, and you wonder, why am I 13-0 after 12 minutes with my mid lane pick? But it's because the system just made you play versus him, and he's obviously not performing good right now, so he's just a loser queue now, and you get to play versus him, so you have now lots of fun in the game because you're 13-0, you have your clutch VOD for YouTube, and the reality behind it is just that MMR works so slowly that just because this guy just lost 5 games in a row and didn't play for a year and is completely washed doesn't mean he's not Challenger, right? Like that. So yeah, I think that kind of sums the most part, the most important stuff is, I believe. 30 minutes, but we're almost done, Yeah, what did we talk about? Winner queue, loser queue, 50% rule. That's kind of true. Don't measure the first games, right. How to get Challenger. Apart from the fact that you actually have to have hands, obviously. But the most part is just play a lot of games, right? Play a lot of games, be consistent, stuff like this. But one more thing that I mentioned at the start of the video, where I said I don't know how much is actually the actual matchmaking coding and how much is just life being life. Because you notice ups and downs in your life too, right? And this game, for example, I noticed I'm in winner queue again. And I don't know, it wasn't, it's, enemies have more kills than we, but you just feel I don't know, I can feel this. You just feel that the game is like not already won, but you are hard winning. You know, you don't see, I don't have any add-ons, I don't see the gold, I don't see anything, but I know the game is hard winning by how my team plays, like how my team moves, how they react to things. I just know we are hard winning, Giga good again. And this Talon, for example, sure he died, he's 2-2, but he's not in a bad state right now, but he doesn't pressure me. He plays kinda, I see that he plays kinda not to lose scared and doesn't go full testo dive me or anything like that. He's kinda scared because he's probably on a loser. If I would look up his account now, he probably lost the last 10 games or something. Not 10 maybe, but he doesn't look me to be the kind of person that is in the mood of Giga stomping right now. He doesn't play like that. And you just notice it, right? You just notice, I'm in winner queue again. However, if you're in winner queue again, sure, you still have to play the game and win the game and not play like ass, right? However, this doesn't explain why stuff like this happens. And I show you something really stupid here. Okay. You can't see the minimap, I'm aware. So I'm here, right? The enemies ping me because they know I'm here. Since you can't see the minimap, this is annoying. My top is top. My Rengar jungle is here on the other side of the map, okay? I'm at the enemy blue, my Rengar is at my blue. I'm at the enemy blue. My bot lane, my Bard is here, not coming towards me, but walking towards his ADC who is dying. So my bot is bot. My jungle is his top side, my top is top, and I'm alone in the enemy jungle. Sure, I'm 7-1. However, there's no way that I can fight Gwen and Talon, even though I didn't know Talon is there, because if I look at... my thing is I don't see him. I didn't know they were pinging me, right? I didn't know they knew I was there, actually. I just knew Gwen was coming here. I wanted to fish for Gwen, actually. But they knew I was there. So I'm here. I'm 7-1. I shouldn't die here, really. I see those two. No one of my team is close, even, right? And I'd be like, oh, let's go in here for some reason. I combo the Talon, however, I didn't ignite him because I thought he should be dead of what I just did, but he wasn't. So I hope he gets visible and I can basic attack him, so I'm spamming click to attack right now. But yeah, I don't see him. He gets out, but because his ult and my ult aggroed the blue buff randomly kills him. You can't make this up, by the way. Okay, moving on. Gwen. I didn't pick any bush queue because I couldn't jump over the wall then. I had the rock queue, so I was dead here. No, my Bard randomly realizes what is happening, even though he had to save his ADC, right? My Bard realizes what is happening, throws an ult that is completely goated, and I get out. Is this winner-loser queue? Is this just live being live? I don't... What the what? Huh? Later on, moving on, this game. My Kaiser was kind of flaming that she wanted a bot gank, and I said, no, brother, if I go bots, Talon will roam as well, and roaming Talon is faster than roaming Kiana, so I'm not sure you really want that, so I'd rather keep pushing mid, right? Anyway, I came bot, and I thought, like, if I'm seeing this here, she should die, and Kaiser is happy, because I roam. However, I walk into the ult like an idiot, because I thought it would expire before I hit it, but micromanagement and stuff. Then I full combo her. I ult, did this fine. However, I thought my ult is gonna hit 100%, so I already threw the rest of my abilities, but she flashes this. So I have no abilities now, and I even dashed into the turret. Giga bad. Giga boosted. Boosted. Giga boosted. However, I sidestep her E. I walk out. Now, this is Masters, low Masters. If this were a quiz, what are the odds I get out of here alive? A. What are the odds also I make a kill while getting out of it alive? Huh? And she misses the ult. For what? Is this loser queue? Or winner queue? I mean, is this winner queue for me? Or is this just live? Playing favorite now, I mean, live. Am I just on a high on live? Right, so like this doesn't seem to be loser queue to me, or winner queue for anyone. This is just life being life. I had the same scenario a game before that. You could look into my history, be like, MVP, unstoppable, right? But look what happens here. Look what happens. Actually, this is actually comedy. Look what happens. Okay. Okay, so game starts. I'm versus Yon. It's a good matchup early on. It's harder later, but it's a good matchup. I like it early. I'm versus Yon. My Jace is jungling, started blue buff, is walking towards his red side. My Jace, as I'm in this situation, suddenly my Jace is doing his red buff. Suddenly he pings help, because Viego is invading him. And I decide, okay, I go help. I didn't really intend to fight anyone. I just thought, okay, my jungler needs my help. I'm gonna move and help him with Viego. At least be there for him so that Viego has to back off and not take his red, right? Because mid-wave was fine to walk away there. It was fine. So I move here, right? What's the first thing that I see while I'm moving there after I had to get off of Yoni? What's the first thing I see? Gragas. Because, well, I don't see Viego yet. So the first thing I see is Gragas. I came to help you with Viego. Why is there Gragas? Like, what? Kinda sad, right? Kinda sad. So I was like, fuck. So what do? Wait, let's look. I knew he had Body Slam ready. Also, I knew Gragas had this ready. This couldn't be off cooldown. What do? I go in this. The enemies don't see me. And Gragas doesn't Body Slam here for some reason. So I E through Gragas because he doesn't Body Slam. Why I don't understand. Then he Body Slams, decides to Body Slam. I flash. He fails his Body Slam flash. Okay. So I get So I get his flash, that is good, so maybe I'm alive. I W, because it came up that moment, Viego randomly flashed Ws to where I was before I W'd. Both flash completely into nothing. My Jace comes, we kill Viego. My Aatrox comes to help as well, and I be like, I don't have any mana left, so might as well take the kill, so it's worth for me. I had 0 mana, because I'm playing Triumph and not Presence of Minds, because more gold. Then I go back to mid lane, like a complete inter, because I knew that this guy had exhaust, so at least he can't like ignite me or anything, right? And yeah, but I don't even have the bush element. If I at least had the bush element, I could go invis there, right? But I'm completely greedy. I'm just going here. I know I will hit level 4 eventually and have enough mana for bush Q, but for now I'm just here. And he decided, I will engage on you, and I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna hit level 4 because minions are racist and stuff. And then I randomly hit level 4. I Q him, and I jump to the side, and he fails his Q. And dies. And I'm 2-0-1 after 3 minutes. Did I Giga Smurf on anyone? No, I was just lucky. But I know for a fact that this is winner queue because my entire team was Giga good and the enemy team was Giga toxic. So this was 100% the winner queue. But adding to the winner queue, stuff like this happens. Why does this happen? Like, I was just lucky, no? Multiple times. Long story short, he only dies another 6 times and then decides to leave the game. I don't. What? But yeah, that is the point where you have to differentiate between. Yeah. Is this just the usual normal movement of life, or is this only solely winner queue and loser queue? Right. And I think the thing you can definitely take out of this is, well, if you lose games, don't blame it on yourself. Okay, you can look for what you could have done better and stuff, but don't blame it on yourself. Sometimes it's just loser queue. Sure, you can be upset if you lose a game that was winnable in terms of really winnable, and you lose it because you misplayed. Sure, think about that maybe, perhaps. try to get that in your head, what you did there, and try to not do it again. But essentially, if it's not an even game, if it's 2, 3, 5, 6 loses in a row, nobody hates you. The world is not against you. It's just the system what is coded to do that. And if you look at your win ratio, you will not be at 30% win ratio, you'll still be above 50% win ratio, and everything is fine. And if you just continue to play and don't take everything personally, sure, it sucks if you come home from work or anything and you just want to play League and you have to endure like 10 games of loser queue now. Sure, that entirely sucks, but eventually you'll get the winner queue again, and you just queue up. You can be wasted, you can make mistakes, you can type confusing stuff, and your team will just be positive and you'll just be winning games, and you'll have fun. You can clip your highlights and send cool stuff to your friends, and it's all fine, right? But to know this, I feel like it's just a mental advantage, because you just know it's not your fault or anything. And if you want to climb more, you just have to play more. Let's say I didn't mention this. I believe this is kind of important. If you look at challenge, I can assure you, if I look at Challenger right now, it's gonna be 2 types of player. Either player who were Challenger last year, or people who were usual normal Challenger, but not like high rank Challenger last year, and just played their 100 games and won like 65% win ratio, and then they stopped playing. So they're high Challenger now, but if they continue playing 100 more games, they will drop again. And if they then play 100 more games, they will rise again. But the ones in Challenger are either people that were there yesterday on the high rank, last season on the high ranks, already ranked 2 last season, or people with 65% win ratio. But however, if those 65% win ratio people play more now, 100 games more, they're gonna be lower, maybe Grandmaster again, maybe Masters again. And if they then play again a lot, they will hit 65% win ratio again and be Challenger high rank again. Like, where is it? What's... Yeah, it's all NA, I was wondering. Europe West, please. Hey. Hey. Okay. These people, I believe, the most of them, I don't know who does this, but Broken Blade, for example, those are always high Challenger, but you see, like this, for example, 70% win ratio. Let's look at this guy. 70% win ratio, 71. Looks like he's the best. She surely is, for sure, is a good player, right? Because he wouldn't be Challenger rank 15 if he wasn't. But I can assure you, if he would continue to play 100 more games, he would probably lower his win ratio back down to about 50-60% and drop in rank, probably. Up until he gets rid of the loser queue because his win ratio is way too high. And but actually, I mean, if it's high rank Challenger, it's hard to say actually. Maybe the players in those ranks are so good that win on loser queue isn't as significant, or even more significant. We can check it out actually. Wait, let's look at them. Inting. Complete 100% loser queue, 100%. Loser queue as well, but he won it, probably, right? Yeah, this was loser queue as well, but he won it. What happens? I don't know about this. I mean, if he only plays 3 games a day. But yeah, what you can definitely see here is that it's kind of what I'm saying, if you didn't notice, by the way. Because he has this insane win ratio, right? This insane 72% win ratio, which is completely insane. But if you look at his recent games, see, they are winner queue still, and then the loser queue starts kicking in, right? But you win some of those games, and then he gets another game of winner queue and then loser queue, but he wins a lot of those loser queue games. Probably, if he doesn't play as much, it's probably good. But if he continues to play now, see his win rate right now, even including the last winner queue, because I didn't include the last loser queue, but the last winner queue, even his last 60 games are lower win ratio than this, because he had this winner queue early on. And now it lowers down into the direction of 50%, right? So to stay now at this rank is really hard. And if he plays a lot, he probably will lose ranks. It's just what it is. And if he plays a lot more, he probably will gain those ranks again. Just you have to decide. Like, for example, if he has 2k, if he's 2.1k LP right now, you demote, you lose LP in Challenger if you don't play for a day, right? You have to play every day, I believe. You can stock up some games, I believe. Maybe not in Challenger, I'm not sure, but okay, sure, he has to play a game a day, but I don't know. I don't believe that this MMR actually depletes if he doesn't play. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. So he could stop playing now, for example. He could stop playing now. And if he then would keep coming back next season and just play his few games, even if he would hit 50% win ratio, he would still be here. And then it's really easy to get even more LP, right? But for a person that didn't start on Challenger already last season, but that only started in like Diamond 4 or anything like that, it's way harder to end up here. Obviously because the player is Diamond. But I mean in terms of the amount of LP you need and the amount of resistance you get from the system that tries to get you towards 50% win ratio, right? I don't know, maybe we can find more of those. Let's look at a player with a lot of games. What do we have here? There has to be a player with a lot of games. This one, for example, right? Dagestan. This one. He has 400 games almost. So let's see. Let's see a bit more. See, he is. Maybe this is important to mention. It's an hour again, whatever. Now, well, see, look at this. He's 62% win ratio. However, his last 140 games are only 53% win ratio. The reason for that is because loser queues never. I maybe explained it wrong. Loser queues never up until you're at 50% win ratio. That is not true. Loser queue can only last for a certain amount of games. And I think you can break it for a short period of time if you just win like 2 or 3 games in a row, I believe. I'm not sure. And something like that. But this guy, for example, he has 62% win ratio. However, in his last 140 games, it's only 53%. And the reason for that is not because I ended on a loser queue. I actually didn't, as you can see here. And the reason for that is that his early games, the loser winner queue thing doesn't take into effect in your early games, so he won a lot early on. Then you probably got into a winner queue, and now the system tries to push him back towards his 50%. This is why he has 53%, and it's still so high. I would assume that I might be wrong about this because I don't know how many games he won early on when it didn't matter, but I would assume that if he would continue to play, this would even drop more. Probably. 1 week ago. Hey, what? Did he just... Yeah, maybe he gave up because he realized that maybe it's all loser queue and he just... I don't know. He just won some games. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. You're kind of doomed if your win ratio is like that. And if you're not in to play another 500 games, then you are better off not playing and just let your account decay and be there next season. What is this? Also, right, this is the video I actually drafted. It's 1 hour and yeah. Well, it's 1 hour again. Nice. Yeah, well, I hope this helps somebody. And I did explain a lot of stuff like 10 times, but this is my input to this. Thanks for watching if you made it towards here, and enjoy your time. Take care, have lots of fun, and go storm the next winner queue. Take care.